Hello and welcome back, Commanders and Commanderettes. Chesty Puller here with another War Commander video. This one is on the Sector Breach event. So, as per usual, Kixeye has upped the difficulty level, and I'm going to recommend that you start out with the general set until you can get some of the workshop for your legendary fighters. This first base is fairly easy. Drop some instant build mercs on it, and then deploy 10 warhorses on Ruby. And that's about it. I set the warhorses up for 2 per unit, and I put the Slippenar in my first unit that I deploy because the Slippenar has a bonus for damage reduction. So if he's not deployed, you won't get that damage reduction bonus. The number 3 base is essentially the exact same setup, but the number 2 base is a little bit slow going. You're going to do this with air only, and but just bring the ground in case you're running out of time at the end, because this is a slow base. And I think Kixeye did this on purpose. They don't want you flying through this event. They want to make it even more difficult, as if it were not difficult enough already. I really don't get why they do that, but they want to make it impossible or nearly impossible for people to get what they want in the time limit that they have. So for the number 2 base, no missiles, no mercs, just use your legendary Phantom. And if you'll notice in the top right corner, there is an academy there, a max level academy. Do not pop that open with your Phantom, because inside that legendary academy are, I don't know how many, like 7 or 8 legendary stingers, and that will do a lot of damage to your Phantom. Notice I'm going pretty close to the academy, but I know what that aura puts out in splash damage. It's about 1/3 of the width of the aura itself, the orange aura right there. That damage will splash out about 1/3 the width of that aura. So just be careful to not blow up the academy, and that's all I can say about that. Then you want to focus on the buildings that are producing units, because that will just be a problem in the end if you have to come in with ground. You don't want a bunch of units there that are not necessarily would not necessarily be there if you had destroyed the producing barracks and the producing airport and the producing war factory. The next priority I'm going to say is going to be to take out the bunkers. After you take out the bunkers, you can bring a fighter in, a legendary fighter, to take out the CC. That makes it a little bit faster, because this CC takes a long time to tear down. Normally you can end up with 5 or 6 minutes at the end of this base, so it's not like you're going to run out of time. But I was trying to do this base with just my Phantom. I wanted to see if I could do it, and because in the previous runs that I had made, and I haven't made that many, I just started the event, but I had used a Phantom for most of the base, cleared the CC, cleared all of the bunkers, and then brought a fighter in for the CC, and that was free repair. But if you leave those bunkers up, you probably won't get away with free repair on your legendary fighter. It will help once you get the workshop. There's a 6,000 flat damage reduction, but still, I would clear the bunkers first, because the bonus that those units in the bunkers get is pretty massive. And remember, as you are flying across these bunkers and damaging them, the unit inside is also getting damaged. So when it pops out of the bunker after the bunker is destroyed, usually the splash damage from the Phantom will kill the unit that's inside the bunker. So even though it doesn't have busted status, you can essentially kill what's in the bunker easily, because when it pops out, it's not at full health. It's almost at the 1 bar of health. So it's easy to kill those units when they do pop out of the bunker. So, like I said, I've been trying to just completely destroy all the bunkers. On this particular run, the CC was getting more damage than usual, but some of the bunkers were lasting longer. You know, it's you've got to decide where the Phantom goes, and you'll learn that there are probably better ways to run the Phantom than I'm running it in this video, because this particular run took me longer than it had in my previous. I think I've done this base twice. The first time I did this base, I just knocked down a few things, and then I tried to come in with ground, and believe me, this is a tougher base than it looks like. You don't want to come in here with ground. And I was also using fighters, and they were taking quite a lot of damage very quickly. So you don't want to use fighters until the CCs are gone. I mean, the bunkers are destroyed. Yeah, not too much left on this base. If you wanted to, another strategy that you could use is get it down to sort of around where it is right now, and come in with the 5 different or 6 different platoons from around the base. But there's quite a lot in here that's going to do a lot of damage. You'd have to use the trick of circling the base, not going head on in, because by circling, the war horses do shoot and move, and some of the units coming after you can't do that. So you can destroy them that way. And the war horses have more range than most of the things here too. So if you're moving away and shooting and moving, you should be able to get most of these units. But you can't just come directly head on in, particularly if there's Bayraks in here, because they will mess up your war horses. If it takes me 3 or 4 minutes extra time to finish this number 2 base, and I come out with 0 damage, it's probably better than coming out with 6 or 7 or 10 or 20 minutes of damage, because then that'll slow you down even more. Yeah, it's a pain. This base is a pain. I'll try to do an update on this if I find a quicker way to do it. Once I get my workshop for my fighters, legendary fighters, I'll come back and I'll test this base again with fully workshopped fighters, but the non-workshop fighters are a no-go. Like I said, you can do 1 from each platoon, but you'll have maybe free repair for 1, but more than likely you'll have 6 or 7 minutes for each one, and that'll set you back. So probably not a good solution. But yes, for sure, once the bunkers are dead, you can bring one fighter in and take out the CC, and that does speed it up quite a lot. The fighters are a lot more powerful than you might think. The fighters are... see here, I wasn't close enough. I was trying to be careful not to hit the Academy, but I was way too far away. And I think I made 2 runs right there, too far away, not doing any damage. So that slowed me down. That wasted, like a minute. Normally I'd be done with this base by now, but for some reason I'm not hitting things the way that I was on my other run. But I'll get it down to a science, and I'll put another video out there. This is essentially my first runs. It's not my first run, but I've done a little bit. I've done this set one time, and then I've done the Conqueror set 1.5 times, or I'm almost done with the Conqueror set right now. And I'll put a video out on the Conqueror set too. It's not as easy as it was the last event, but I think it's going to be doable once you get your fighters fully workshopped. And you're going to lean heavily on your fighters for the Conqueror set. Yeah, there's got to be a faster way of doing this. This is really hard to deal with, this slow method. I'll definitely come up with a faster way of doing this, because I'm not going to want to do this over and over this way. For some people, this might be the only thing that you can do, though. So I wanted to put this video out here because I found that this was pretty good. I mean, anything's better than losing your platoons and taking a bunch of damage. Still got that one bunker there. And don't worry, if you are running out of time, you can deploy your ground and come in and finish this base up at the end. See, this academy is pretty tough. I fly over. I feel like it doesn't open up. I feel like the Phantom has been nerfed, because it used to be able to do more damage than this, I believe. So I imagine that the Phantom has been nerfed. I remember I used to fly over somebody's CC once or twice, and it would be done. And I do know that the Phantom used to take less damage. Right now it takes more damage. If you're getting shot, it takes damage so much faster than it used to. Of course, the units that we have now are far more powerful, but this should do it right now. See, I'm not worried about those guys shooting me, because by the time the Phantom bombs fall, the Phantom is long gone. So yeah, there's that. That was the slowest run I've ever done on that base. It is much faster if you use a fighter there at the end, and then you can even bring in some ground there at the end too. But let's do the base 3 really quick, and this is a fast base. I've already refilled my mercs before I started number 2, so we should be able to just go right in here, and I think I got my mercs built. Yeah, I did. And so it's the same way that you do the level 1 base for the general set. You just deploy some mercs and then deploy your war horses, and you're good to go. I just deploy all my mercs at the same time. You can break them up. You can deploy some of them, and then like right now you can deploy the rest of them, and that might help, but I just deploy all of mine at the same time. So for completing the general set, you get 51,000 points. So it would take you quite a while to get everything that you need. You need a lot of points this time to get the hero fighter called Maverick. I'm surprised Tom Cruise isn't suing Kixeye with the Maverick and the Goose platoon and or whoever made that movie, United Artists or whatever it is. So there's the workshop. I hope this was helpful, guys. Have a good one. Check out my other videos. I'll be coming out with some updates on this, and I hope this helps you get through the event. See you later.